Hey, I'm Jared. You might remember me as an extra in previous FG Mods videos. This is my turbo Barra swapped Hilux, and in these videos we're going to take you through the journey of building it. I think this build is interesting because the Barra is quite a tight fit in the Hilux. It was a big challenge to get it to fit in here. Behind the Barra I've put the ZF6 to give it nice road drivability and economy, as well as nice driving off-road. Behind the ZF, we've got the Nissan Patrol transfer case, which gives it true four-wheel drive. Past that, we have the Nissan chassis from a GU Patrol as well, and the diffs from the Nissan GU Patrol. This will allow it to handle the power that the Barra can dish out. Hope you guys enjoy the videos on the process of us going through building it.
Oh, that bounced right.
Is that satisfying?
It was.
And the shifter knob.
Yeah. You can get replacement ones of those as well, but yeah. I like how this is what you're focusing on right now. Can I make it look pretty again?
Engine swaps with Autismos. Oh, look at that. I don't have to get a new one. This is going to come up nice.
Jared! We're gonna be rich!
Yeah, boys!
Someone
get in,
else's
bitch, we're
money.
going shopping! Because I'm not keeping the territory, I can use some gentle persuasion with the grinder to remove things that are obstructing the engine coming out.
With the engine out, it's time to start removing the accessories and stripping some of the engine down in preparation for new parts that Jared's bought. He found a nice surprise down in the wells here. It looks like they might have reused gaskets at some point, which has caused them to fail and filled the wells with oil. All of this stuff is coming off: air conditioning compressor, alternator, power steering pump. It's all getting replaced with brand new parts. And once it was all apart, it was time for Jared to make sure that the engine is made of engine and that it actually was a turbo engine like he was told when he bought it. Speaking of surprises, he found this little surprise when he removed the water pump.
So there's the old original factory gasket. They've just left chunks of it on here and then just siliconed over the top of it. She'll be right, mate.
Yuck. Oh, yummy.
I'm not paying fucking $200 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Here's my new tool.
Okay. Show me. So you literally made this yourself
I made this.
by hand.
And that slots in there. Socket can go in the end,
Right.
like so. Boom.
That was simple. Look at how easy that was.
Why is there silicon in here? Because that goes right through to the crank
Yep.
case. So
Yeah.
if you don't put silicon on that keyway, oil just can leak out through it.
Comes squirting straight out.
Quality Ford design.
Hey, you listen here.
I mean, I love Ford, they're the best.
There we go, well done.
I'm now stripping down the engine further to get it ready for a new timing chain, and so I can take off the valve cover and send it away to get powder coated. It's turned out pretty good in my opinion, and I think it'll contrast well with the colour of the Hilux.
Meanwhile, Jared's encountered his first problem of the build.
Here you can see the problem with the territory sump. While it gives plenty of clearance to the diff, it unfortunately hits the steering linkage at full extended travel, which means no upward travel without it crushing the sump, which wouldn't work too well. To clear the steering arm, I'll use a rear sump. It's almost a perfect fit, except now the diff is too close. So to fix this, I'll need to notch the sump so I can create some space. Because the sump is aluminium, I have to be extra sure that it is clean before I start welding it. So what I've done is I've got a slide angle here, which will give me a reference for the hole angle that I'll be drilling out the dipstick here. That way I can get it as close as possible to the angle it needs to be the same as factory on the FG rear sumps, because it's a Territory front sump motor that didn't come with the rear provision, unfortunately. The reason I'm drilling it on an angle is because the sump sits on an angle as well. So if you drilled straight down, it'd hit the side of the sump and it wouldn't work properly.
With the rear dipstick in place, it's time to start having a look at the Hilux engine bay and try and figure out how is a Barra going to fit in here.
One of the biggest challenges with fitting the Barra into the Hilux is the length of it. As you can see, is roughly about 790mm long, and then the height of it is a substantially taller engine than a lot of other ones. As you can see, it's a pretty tight engine bay, and the front of the engine is going to sit roughly 30mm from the radiator support. Luckily, they have a facelift for this model, which gives a substantial extension to the front of the car of roughly about 100mm, which means I'll be able to put the radiator, aircon condenser, and potentially hide the intercooler in the bull bar. As well as adding the extension to the front, the facelift also sits a lot higher in the bonnet section, which means I'll have a lot more bonnet to top of engine clearance, which should help a great deal. With the facelift, I have to move the bonnet latch forward so that it lines up with the new bonnet. To do that, I'm cutting up the support and moving the section that the latch bolts onto forward. So here we have the finished radiator support with the latch now lining up with the new bonnet, and we've had to brace it up because unfortunately when I cut it up and joined it, it had a lot more flex than I'd expected. So I've added another piece down the bottom here and then extended down to this brace, which has made it pretty firm.
With the bracing done, it was time for Jared to do some very scientific testing to ensure that it was going to be strong enough. After completing this round of very thorough and science-based testing, it was time to start looking at creating some brackets so that he could mount gas struts to the new bonnet.
My favourite part of working on old cars is all the bolts that keep snapping when you look at them. As you can see right here, this little bastard has snapped off as soon as I've tried to wind it in. So now I'm going to have to weld a nut on the end to back her out. By far the easiest way to get snap bolts out of these old bastards. Here I've welded a plate to the firewall so that I can drill out new holes that suit the GU Patrol brake booster. Patrol brake booster. Next I'm working on brackets for the pedals. Here we have the completed pedal assemblies that are bolt into the Hilux cab and utilise the Ford Territory throttle pedal, the Ford Territory brake switches, and bolt straight up to the Nissan Patrol brake booster so that it'll be compliant and pass roadworthy. The reason for going through all this trouble of fitting the Territory switches is so that I can retain the cruise control, because I'd like a few of the creature comforts that come with the Barra. In the next episode of the Barralux, I'm going to fix the boring factory bonnet, reassemble the engine, make some engine and gearbox mounts, and paint the chassis.